Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like what you saw didn't match what others say they see? Like, no matter how much progress you make, it's never enough. Or, have you lost a significant amount of weight, but you still move like you did when that body was 100 pounds heavier? Maybe you've lost all the weight and expect your body to look like the ones that are on TV or social media. And that's not what you're ending up with. On today's episode, we're talking about body dysmorphia. It's that silent distortion that can twist our reflection, our confidence, and even our worth. Welcome to episode 10 of Making Mal, Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of my life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy and other days flawless, but no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you, I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight that will help prioritize your own journey. So let's get into body dysmorphia. Now, I want to warn you, this might be a really tough subject to talk about, and I think it may be an area for me where I have more work to do because I'm feeling really vulnerable about this subject today. Still, my lack of comfortable is less important than us talking about it, getting a better understanding of it, and preparing for it. You know, Coach Val always says that life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. There do seem to be several different camps in body dysmorphia, and I'm going to touch on a few. People who maybe don't see how unhealthy their bodies have gotten, and I've been in that camp. People who do not like what they see when they look in the mirror, and people who see themselves as they used to be instead of how they currently are. Body dysmorphia can be obsessing over perceived flaws that others may not even notice, and some that might not even be there. It affects different people in different ways. It doesn't mean that you're vain or you're broken. You're just navigating a real challenge in the process. See, some of us buy the myth that one day we will arrive at some magical scale number or pant size and our lives will change. Some of us chase this elusive idea for many years and even a lifetime. We spend our time thinking to ourselves, once I hit this weight or look this way or meet this goal, I will finally be able to, fill in the blank. But the truth is, when we get to where we thought we needed to be, what happens if it doesn't look like we thought it should? Do we still feel lost and incomplete? Honestly, if you cannot find happiness and value as you are, you're not going to find it when you lose the weight. My body and mind have been at war for most of my life. There were years at a time where I didn't look in the mirror or maybe looked there long enough to make sure there weren't Cheerios in my hair as I was walking out the door. I don't know how much you have to lose, but I know where I started and where I stand. And this week, I was talking to a friend about exactly this issue. She's lost a significant amount of weight, and she's amazing. She was in the 300s, and now she's in the 100s. And we talked about all the ways that being significantly overweight holds you back long after the weight is gone, and even when you're in the midst of it. So what kind of things can hold you back? You know, I feared going to the doctor's office for a very long time, and not because of the scale or health measures or some lecture I was going to get, but because of the waiting room chairs. A lot of doctor's office waiting rooms have chairs with arms, and they cut into my hips when I tried to sit there. I have feared going to the home of someone new because I wasn't sure that I would be able to sit in the chairs that they have available. That's a real fear. The chair might not hold me. My daughter was a competitive dancer for about 10 years, and competitions were held in theaters all over the state of Florida. You want to know something about theater seats? They're not made for big bodies. They're designed for average-sized bodies, which I have never had as an adult. I would go home from a 2-day dance competition, peel my clothes off, and have bruises from my mid-outer thigh all the way up to the widest part of my hip from sitting in chairs that were too small to fit me. So for me, body dysmorphia was real. I couldn't see how big I had gotten, but the rest of the world was more than content to show me. Now, I've lost about 125 pounds, and I no longer have to worry about fitting in a booth at a restaurant. And this used to be a really big deal. Fitting in the booth, however, it didn't stop that idea from entering my head on Wednesday night when I met friends for dinner. There were 5 of us, and before I knew it, they were putting us in a corner booth at Olive Garden. I started to panic a little bit, and then I closed my eyes and I just sat down and I slid all the way over into the middle because I could easily. Here's the really strange part. A few hours later, when we went to leave, it went through my head again. My head is still stuck on my larger body, and lots of people feel this way. You know, Coach Emily B. from Birch and Stone Coaching Collective once said, "The mind has a schedule, but so does the body. And the schedules don't always match." Boy, did she nail that one. It made me realize that my mind and body are often in different stages in this process as well. I used to believe that confidence and worth and peace would magically appear once I reached a physical goal. But the truth is, I have all those things already, and I'm not even close to whatever my goal's going to be. I did not realize that my improved body was not going to fix my mind. And I realized that about 3 years into this journey. And I have been doing mindset work ever since. See, the external changes never ever equal internal peace. You have to find that in other ways. Body dysmorphia isn't just about how you look. It's about how you see. Here's what no one tells you. Arriving at whatever destination you have in mind does not change our insecurities, vulnerabilities, the way in which you see yourself, or the way others see you. It just changes the costume you're wearing. Everything in our culture reinforces doubt. Social media, commercials, TV, even people. I mean, listen to the messages. If you want tight skin and a firm body, then buy Special Body Cream Extraordinaire. I mean, really? Think about the catchphrases out there. Now you can look younger too. Maybe she's born with it. I dare you not to want to finish that one, by the way. No pain, no gain. Let's get physical. Or just do it. Talk about letdown. Often when you lose a significant amount of weight, your body does not return to some version that you picture in your head, or maybe even a version that you've had in the past, especially if you've held that weight for a long time. Bodies change over time. The sag and distribution changes as you get older, that's normal. Being young and supple your entire life is not a real thing, unless maybe you're Cher, and I'm not. Maybe we need to let go of fake promises and stop chasing that external validation we thought we'd need or thought we had to have. You know, the promise that once you reach your destination, you'll look really hot in the tight jeans and everybody on the planet's going to want you and women will be green with envy and everything in your world will be set right when you reach such and such level of skinny. What a bunch of crap. Let's get real. Unless you're from Hollywood or you've had lots of surgery or you've never ever had a weight problem, that's not how it works. The reality is, someday I am going to need skin removal surgery. I will at some point. It scares the heck out of me. But I already have extra skin hanging and I still have more than 100 pounds to go. The reality is that I am a woman who has had to buy clothing that fit for the majority of my life, not clothing I really liked. Whatever it was that would cover my huge body in 5X shirts and size 30, 32 pants. That's what I wore. And choices are very limited at that size. I am finally at a point in this journey where I'm able to actually choose things I like. And it's like a teenager finding their fashion sense. Believing that some magical thing would happen and make my body perfect is absolutely ridiculous. First, I abused this body for the first 47 years. So it's not realistic to expect it to change overnight. I've grown 3 babies in this body. It's carried me through losing my son, losing my husband, losing myself, growing to more than 423 pounds. It's carried me through a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and working on a PhD. It's carried me into a gym where I fell in love with heavy metal for the first time. My body has carried me through illness and heartache and unimaginable pain in my life. It carried me through all of that. My body is not a failure because it was large. It's a survivor despite that. My body was a result of all the poor choices I made throughout my life, and now it is becoming the result of all the choices I make on the daily. What has your body done for you? Ask yourself that, because that's where the pivot happens. It's about reclaiming your worth based on what you know about what your body's done, about who you are, and about what you're worth. The pivot is moving away from the trap of what I look like and focusing on what my body can do. I realize there's a lot of work here, and you don't need to love everything about your body. But you can love the things that it does for you. You can respect it. You can stand in awe of how it holds you together every single day, how it's taken pain and lack of care and continues to be resilient and get healthier as you make better choices. One of the things that really helped me reclaim my value was mirror time. Now, Coach Val talks a lot about her I am statements and mirror time because of the power that they hold for her. When a friend recommended this to me a few years ago, I thought she was out of her mind. And it was exceptionally uncomfortable when I started. But now, I do it every day. I remind myself about the truth because the world is going to spare no expense making sure I know what it thinks, even when I choose not to care. I highly recommend looking yourself in the mirror and speaking truth, hope, love, and life into yourself every day. It makes a huge difference. Figure out what it is that you're chasing and what you hope it will fix. And if you picture the lie, and then your body doesn't end up looking like the magazine cover, that's because your body is real. And real is powerful. Regardless of how you see your body, whether you see it as a whole lot of flaws at goal, or a whole lot more than what it is where you actually are, you have to realize your body is not a project, it's a home. And healing starts when we stop chasing arrival and start building peace and respect. You're already worthy. The truth is, you already were, and you always will be. Next time, we're going to go a little deeper and talk about the after body challenges, and we're going to talk about an after body toolkit. Until then, onward and upward, my friends.